Greetings once again, pirates on the high seas. Duuz-Diz-Din back again with One Piece. In the previous chapter, St. J. Garcia Saturn showed that a minor injury like a sword to the chest meant nothing to him. Pulling the sword out, his wound immediately healing, and him capturing Bonnie. Even managing to incapacitate Sanji with a glance. He even tries to make an attempt on Luffy's life, but thanks to a quick punch from Sanji to Luffy's face. No, from Frankie to Luffy's face. I'm so not used to Frankie actually managing to contribute. Frankie is able to save Luffy. Meanwhile, Kizaru has been left in a bit of a daze thanks to Luffy's star gun. So at least we don't have to worry about that monster, just this monster over here, the spider one. Saturn then readies Bonnie to be executed, holding her aloft ready for the firing squad, telling them to go for the head. Zombie rules, baby. But Bonnie is enraged, saying that Saturn was responsible for the death of her father. Saturn then reveals that Kuma's bloodline is that of a sinful race who committed a major crime, the Buccaneers. Yarby hearties! We also see that in the past, Kuma had told Bonnie the legend of Nika. It is then that we receive the flashback of the tragedy that was Kuma's life. Born in the Sorbet Kingdom, a raid at the hospital that he was born at revealed his and his father's lineage. And so despite not having Buccaneer blood herself, the infant Kuma, his father and his mother, were forced into slavery. His mother died by some unknown means, but use your imagination. And as Kuma, who initially tried his best to be as happy as possible despite the situation they were in, Kuma started to break down, feeling that he should die as well. His father, trying to lift his spirits somehow, told Kuma the legend of Nika, about the joy and songs that he would bring to those who were enslaved, only for Kuma's father to be shot dead, simply for making a little too much noise. We then pick up 38 years ago, during the events of God Valley, where we find out that God Valley was not some home or refuge for the world nobles. No, it was a hunting ground, finding the name God Valley to be a blaspheme against them. The Celestial Dragons had something they called a native hunting competition. You would hunt the local population and any slaves they felt were too unruly to keep around, and you'd shoot them, garnering points. We found out that yes, this was located in the West Blue, and it was unaffiliated with the world government, meaning that it was free game to the Celestial Dragons. We see Saint Saturn, who looks no different than what he looks like now, and a young Garling, who, remember, looks like an old man now, but in the past, he looked very much like, well, Shanks. Garling even killed the king, who protested the hunting and murder of his people. We also see the events that took place after the initial memory that Bonnie saw, where Kuma had run off on God Valley, been beaten by his fellow slaves to bring him back, with them believing that they would be punished even more should Kuma escape, only for the group to be met by none other than the enslaved Ginny, and more importantly, Emporio Ivankov, Kuma's future friend and fellow revolutionary. This is it, the flashback we've been waiting for. Will it live up to the excitement? What will we see of Rox, as well as the future emperors, the prime of Gold Roger, the prime of Garp? How will they come together? And it seems as though the prize for the winner of the competition on God Valley was to receive devil fruits, as the chests put on display are very similar to the ones you usually would find devil fruits in, and one that you would find a baby Shanks in. What does this all mean? Join me as I find out, won't you? Alright, One Piece chapter 1096, Kumachi. What the heck is Kumachi? And then a reader request, Zoro lamenting losing a game of musical chairs to chihuahuas in the woods. He probably got lost. It looks like he ended up losing the Wado on top of that. Jeez, of all the swords to lose. Zoro strong in everything. Well, strong in the typical sense, but when it comes to more common things, Zoro is very lacking. Gotta balance that out somehow. Oh, here it comes. You see the nobles standing on the platform, and the people all in chains, running for their lives, crying and sobbing. The World Noble announcer says, "We've already introduced the 13 super rare rabbits. They're worth 10,000 points each. There are also 150 rare rabbits." To refer to people as rabbits, jeez. 1 hit kills will earn you an excellence bonus, and we have some very fine prizes indeed for the champion. Garling smiles, saying, "Watch this, children." And I am assuming other god knights perk up, saying, one says that trophy will belong to the Menmayer family. Another in a gas mask says, "You won't win this one, Garling." And another one smiles. The people fleeing say, "You can't do this. It's unconscionable." Unconscionable? That's a new word for me. "Wake me up from this nightmare. Human beings shouldn't treat other humans as toys." Meanwhile, the dragons begin firing at the crowd. A woman cries out, "No, my child!" The announcer then says, "Not so fast, boys. Obey the rules." Meanwhile, there are 200 World Noble Hunter. The hunt will begin in an hour. Run and hide, rabbits. Jeez. It really is a situation where it shouldn't be surprising that something like this happened, but it's still really messed up. I wonder why Garling said, "Watch this, children." I mean, Shanks would have already been born at this point. Was he speaking about Shanks? Or is it something else? I wonder. Alright, Navy headquarters. Oh, okay. We hear a call with someone on the other line saying, "Why such a remote island?" The person at headquarters says, "I can't tell you. Please, Garp, just go. We're not certain yet, but we can't afford to take chances." It's a young Kong. Oh, seeing a younger Kong. Was this when he was Fleet Admiral, I wonder? Garp says, "Oh, is this the Celestial Dragon's little field trip? I warned you not to mess with Full-a-Lead, but who listens to me?" Oh, they messed with Full-a-Lead. So the attack on God Valley was retaliation? Okay, I wonder. That was treasure from Pirate Island. Of course they'll come back to get it. Oh, so let me guess, they claimed devil fruits from Full-a-Lead, put it for God Valley, as an auction of the prizes, and then the Rocks Pirates came in to raid because of what happened to them. Jeez. Okay. It's lining up. And more than likely, Garp and Roger protected the people more so than the dragons, you know. You see Garp chilling out at some resort place. I wonder if it's that one resort place that, I'm thinking, Miss Valentine's Day, Mr. 5, and Miss Golden Week were hanging out at. Kong questions, "Who leaked that information?" Oh man. Garp says while he's chilling out, "Hey, they've got plenty of security, right? Why the fear?" Kong says, "Well, the thing is, we didn't think Roger would get involved." Garp freaks out saying, "Lead with that next time, I'm going!" He doesn't get out of bed unless it's for Roger. We then pick back up on Pirate Island Full-a-Lead in the New World. The pirates call out, "The Rocks Pirates have already left. They got the jump on us. We gotta catch up, come on. This is a huge deal in the pirating world." Yeah, to steal from pirates, jeez. We then cut back over to God Valley, West Blue. People on the island say, "The island's surrounded. I've never seen this many Navy ships before. Of course there's no escape. The reality of this atrocity itself will be erased from history. They've concocted this sick murder game to drive off the inhabitants of this island so they can take its resources." So it's not just about the general hunting, it's to take the resources for the nobles. That's why they do it every couple of years, because the nobles probably just devour all the resources that would have just naturally fed the inhabitants over years and years. And they just gobble it all down in a couple of years, like the fat bastards they are. And I speak that as a fat bastard myself. And you see nobles riding ostriches? Gutting down people who are trying their best to protect children in their hands and stuff. Jeez. It's Ivankov talking, saying, "Would you believe that the 100,000 rabbits who live on this island will all be dead to the very last man in just 3 weeks?" Oh man, the people even have targets literally painted on their back. Jeez. Ivankov shouts to the people, "Is this real life or is this hell?" As we see more people fall to the nobles. One person speaks up, "But if we can survive the next 3 weeks, we'll be free." Ivankov shouts, "Stop dreaming, fool! The total number of survivors of all these games combined is 0. Another man questions, "Huh? But why would they tell us that? Just to give us hope?" Ivankov tells him, "Because it's the hope that makes us struggle and run. What's so fun about killing people who only fall to the ground in abject despair? Don't waste your time dreaming of salvation in this sick game. We have to escape the game itself." Gee, fuck. I'm actually getting chills from just how utterly horrendous this is. Just, man. Whew. And you see Garling also just racing by on his bird. I wonder if this is a precursor to the Supersonic Duck Squadron. And he's just slicing through people with ease. Announcer calls out, "And Saint Garling already has 100,000 points. Is he going for the high-value rabbits?" We then see a Denden Mushi up in the trees. It's projecting everything back to Mary Joa. We then see a fishman bite through Ivankov's chains. Ivankov says, "Yes, it's off. Thanks for those mighty jaws, my shark fishman friend." The fishman says, "Thank you. No one's ever said that to me before." Oh, we see Ginny over with some Denden Mushi. She's listening in and observing something. She says the prizes for the events are the key to our escape. A nearby person questions, "Prizes?" Ginny tells them they've got one of the most powerful devil fruits in existence. It allows whoever eats it to transform into a mythical azure dragon. Yep, there we go. She then says, and also the pawpaw fruit, which allows the user to send others and themselves to distant islands. They're both here on God Valley. That's what it is. I always kind of wondered why such high-value items were just out there. Ivankov tells the people, "In any case, if any of us can eat them, the dozens of us here can get past the Navy blockade and escape this hell." A man says, "No, we can't. The prizes are in the center of the island." Ginny perks up, saying, "But I'm a pro at thieving, tapping, and transmissions. 2 weeks ago I sent a message about the island to the outside. Maybe someone heard it. Rocks. And probably Roger, too. That's why they ended up there. They picked up the transmission. And it would be the perfect distraction that everyone here would need in order to escape." Wow. Thieving and tapping. That sounds like Nami. And even wearing the glasses that way she does. Okay, it's getting really hard to tell who's related to who in this situation. I wonder, could she be Nami's mother too? Nah, thieving isn't really a unique skill. I don't know. Getting caught up in the speculation without any real solid evidence to anything. Ginny says, "Anyway, for our plan we're going to need a decoy." First nobody speaks up, but then Kuma says, while raising his hand, "I'll do it." Ivanka says, "Kuma?" Kuma says, "I'm big and hardy, so I can survive longer than others. And I don't want to see anyone die anyway." Ginny is stunned silent, but Ivankov perks up saying, "Yeehaw! Well said, Kuma. I won't let them kill you. Let's get off of God Valley together." Man, okay. So that's how their friendship was forged. Kuma's bravery and his want to help people above all else, too. I wonder, did Kuma maybe think that Eva was Joy Boy? Eva does have a bit of a boundless smile, too. We see a marine vessel explode. Oh, they're here. Oh, baby, yes. Someone calls out, "What's that?" The Marines say, "It's the Rocks Pirates, east of the island. But why?" It's not just them either. There are more ships coming. They're all infamous pirates. Okay, so it was more than just Rocks and Roger. It was a bunch of high-profile pirates on the attack. Oh, that's awesome. A vice admiral calls out, "Why didn't we hear about this? What do they want? Fire cannons!" And the cannons fire upon the various ships, but the Rocks pirate ship just bowls through them. And I'm guessing Rocks calls out, "You're wasting your time, Navy. Follow me, Rocks pirates." And we see them, the Rocks pirates in all their glory. Wait, what? Gloriosa? Elder Neon was part of the Rocks? The person she fell in love with was Rocks. Or Whitebeard. Honestly, it could be anyone here. I'm realizing it's all characters we already know. Whitebeard calls out as the Rocks pirates invade the shore. Not so fast, Rocks. Who said I was your follower, fool? Okay. So even though they rode the same ship, they didn't even follow his orders directly. Stussy, who is riding on Whitebeard's shoulder, says, "Oh, Nougat, not you too." While Gloriosa says, "Don't be so pathetic, Stussy." And Stussy says, "Same to you, Gloriosa." Captain John says, "Hoo hee hee hee, that's my treasure." It has to be him because he's doing the same thing his zombie did. And Shiki, oh man, it's so wild to just straight up see Shiki in the actual story. Because honestly, outside of, what was it, Volume 0, did we ever actually see him in the actual legit manga? I don't think so. But Shiki calls out, "It's fine. I assume it's finders keepers." Big Mom rushes in saying, "They'll be mine." While Kaido shouts, "But you can't do anything with them, Lin Lin." Yeah, because she already has a devil fruit. I mean, she probably just wants to sell them, so. Or, have control over whoever she gives it to, much like she does with Kaido in the future. So she manages to claim the dragon fruit, or the fish fruit, and ultimately gives it to Kaido. But what happens to Kaido that she does it to save his life? I wonder. Newgate says, "I just know that fool Rocks will lose sight of the goal. We have to be certain first." Shiki says, "Stop acting like you're the leader here. I'll blow 'em all up." Lin says, "Let's just steal what we're after and scram. All these dreamers with their head in the clouds." Okay, she was fairly practical back in the day. Kaido says, "I hear Roger's on the move. He's the last man I'll let." I'm guessing let have the devil fruits. Lin says, "Calm down, kid." Stussy says, "Today's the final fight, I assume." John says, "That's the idea." And Gloriosa says, "We'll settle it once and for all." Settle what? Who becomes the leader of the Rocks Pirates, I wonder? Or maybe leader of Fullaled? And I'm guessing that's Golden Axe and Wang Ji, the dude in the helmet. He reminds me of one of those general zombies. I'm only thinking of it because of Captain John. Did we see? Were there more of the Rocks Pirates that Moria had managed to catch? It would actually make sense. Moria had a lot of the deceased Rocks Pirates. Silver Axe and Wang Ji. Or Ochoko. Just straight up Gloriosa. What the hell? That is actually shocking to find out. Like, wait a minute. And Elder Neon was a cutie. But given the way that she looks, she definitely fell down the bad timeline. But this would explain how she knows Silver Rayleigh and Shakiaku. Okay, I expected to see Shaki amongst the Rocks Pirates, but it ends up being Gloriosa. Everyone had that theory. It's just like, okay, Shaki was part of the Rocks Pirates. Nope, wrong Kuja. Wrong Kuja. That is so wild. Okay, Gloriosa might have been something back in the day, but just being part of a legendary crew doesn't always mean you're the strongest around. But she was definitely capable. Man, I wonder how many other pirates are here. Yeah, I had to go and look up the zombie. Looks just like him. That's totally one of the general zombies. Someone calls out, "The Rock Pirates have made landfall." Noble says, "What is the Navy doing? If they lay a single finger on us." But before they continue berating the Marines, someone comes over the comm saying, "Reporting in. Pirate crews are converging from all over. How did it get out? This was top secret. Their purpose here is unclear. Watch out, on the western shore. It's the Roger Pirates." What? And Roger, complete with the straw hat. Nice. Yep, Roger, Scopper Gabon, Silver's Rayleigh. Roger calls out, "It's been a whole year. Do you have any idea how I've felt all this time?" Scopper says, "No special privileges for the captain here, Roger." Rayleigh says, "This is gonna be a wild one. Special privileges? A whole year? For what? Since they've seen action? I wonder. Ooh, are those the God's Knights? Ooh, there's a sexy looking lady back there I can barely make out." Garling says, "Pull back the sailors and have them guard the celestial dragons." Another says, "Pathetic. What was the point of the blockade?" Garling says, "The Holy Knights will handle this." And the rest shout out, "Right." Ooh. I really want to see what that lady looks like. She looks badass. The civilians see this and question, "What's happening?" The Marines call out, "It's Roger and Rocks. This one might be too much for us. But then someone comes over the comms saying, help has arrived. It's Vice Admiral Garp. Oh, and Bogart's there too. Wow. Actually seeing Bogart after all this time, after all the jokes about Bogart never showing up, there he is. I wonder if it's because of the live action. I wonder. I can't make out anyone else here, and I don't recognize anybody else here. I have to look it up later if anybody recognizes anybody else in the crowd with Garp. Marines cry out, woo, we're saved! And Garp says, tell me where to find Roger. The people call out, it's absolute chaos. I can't believe our luck. Oh, it was Kuma and Ivankov. Yeah. Luck is nothing. That's all Ginny. One lone girl caused the most hype confrontation imaginable. I doubt we're gonna see much of it anyway, though. The anime will make up for that. Ooh, I'm gonna love the anime. Maybe we'll get to see some of the God Knights in action. Kuma picks up the pawpaw fruit saying, this is it? And Ivankov picks up the fish fruit model azure dragon. This close to Eva having the dragon fruit. Wild. I wonder what stops him. But Kuma definitely eats his fruit. Ivankov says, it sure is. I don't know which is what, but let's eat them. Oh geez, Big Mom just comes in like a bat out of hell, barreling through a wall like the Kool-Aid Man, pinning Ivankov, grabbing the fruit, saying, ha, not so fast. Big Mom reaches out for Kuma, saying, I'll take that one too. And Ivankov says, eat it, Kuma, don't think. Eat the fruit and save yourself. We just need one survivor. Big Mom, obviously not willing to risk losing the fruit she already grabbed, lets Kuma run, and he just chows down on the fruit. As Ivankov cheers, saying, and then we've won. But as Kuma's running, looking back to Eva, he doesn't notice as Saint Saturn stands in his way, pushing him back with whatever the hell ability Saturn has. Eva questions Kuma, and as Saturn stands over the downed Kuma, he says, the Buccaneer boy. Your only options are slavery and death. History itself chose them for you. Kuma questions, are you important, mister? And as Kuma struggles to his feet, he says, it doesn't make sense that you're born important. And there's no reason for someone to be born a slave. If I've got some kind of power, then I want to be like Nika and save as many of these unfortunate people as I possibly can. Damn, Kuma. And you know he's scared. He's shivering. He's got a meek look in his eyes, but he's got resolve. Boy's got resolve. But Saturn looks down on him, literally and figuratively, saying, which is why you people will vanish for good. And you hear the words call out, wait, Rocks, out of my way, Roger. And you see a massive clash. Yeah, of course we're gonna pass by it. Damn. I thought this was just gonna be all God Valley, but of course it's just a little tease. I mean, it did really help out immensely, just understanding a lot of the context of God Valley. But how did Kuma get away from this? He had to have used his fruit, I assume. The narrator says, this event would be lost to the dark shadows of history. Oh, and then we pick up in the Sorbet Kingdom, South Blue, where Kuma, Ivankov, and Ginny are all hanging out. Looks like in a church somewhere. Ivankov says, the only news story is the legend of Garp's Heroics. They won't print anything else. And I'm assuming Ginny says just what the powerful want. This Morgan's writer is such a hack. Jeez. Morgan's was writing even back then? How old is Big News Morgan's? Morgan's is 53. So yeah, 38 years ago. Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I keep thinking a lot of these events are a lot older than they actually are. Ivankov says, we still have no idea what happened on that island. We then see Kuma praying in the church. Ginny says, why are you still praying, Kuma? Kuma says, I'm thinking of the other lives I could have saved. Ivankov stamps his foot, saying, knock it off. Amidst all that chaos and violence, you saved over 500 lives back there. Jeez. I mean, considering the people, the kind of people who are on the island, 500 isn't the best, but that's still a lot of people Kuma managed to save. Gee. Ginny says, that's right, Kumachi. Wait, Kumachi? Is that Kuma's full name or partial name? Kumachi. Kumachi. Ginny starts crying, saying everybody was crying with gratitude. Even I was. Eva says, and now you've got hands of liberation that set people free. Huh. Nice. And Kuma looks at the paw pads on his hands saying, hands of liberation. Yeah, they are in a church. Ginny says, so your family ran a church. It explains so much about you. Oh, really? That does. Why he holds a Bible, his religious views, everything. It explains a lot. And why a lot of things about Kuma just seems like a priest or a pastor. Eva picks up a bag and coat saying, well, it's time for me to go to sea. I've got to make the most of this freedom. Kuma smiles saying, for as long as I live, Eva, I'll never forget your face. Eva laughs saying, no one ever has. And Ginny says, I'm gonna stay here with Kumachi and figure out what to do with my life, bro. Okay, so Ginny's definitely Bonnie's mom. And she didn't die. A lot of people were assuming, like I was, that Ginny was going to die at God Valley, but nope. But she has to perish at some point. Unless Ginny's just still out there, maybe ruling over the Sorbet Kingdom in the meantime. And so as they see Eva out, Eva calls from his boat, so long, my friends. Ginny puffs up saying, okay, I'm 4 years older, so it's up to me to feed little Kumachi. 4 years older, so if she's still alive, Ginny would be in her 50s? Early 50s, right? Kuma says, huh? Yeah, and we see their life together. Oh, and we see Kuma cutting up wood as Ginny cheers, split those logs, Kumachi. And as Kuma makes his way into town with a bundle of sticks, just like the picture of him when he was a kid. Dang, that came full circle. Ginny's riding on the top saying, let's get selling. No more digging through the trash, no more stealing, we buy our food. And then we see some kids throwing rocks at Kuma saying, huh? You're 9? Liar, you're a monster. And the Kuma doesn't fight back saying, ouch, but Ginny certainly does, beating him with a stick. They kind of look like the dudes who were on Bonnie's crew. Just the one with the cowboy hat and the weird nose and lips. Like, put a beard on him, it's like the same dude. Huh. So, Ginny's definitely Bonnie's mom. So as the kids cry for being beaten up by Ginny, Kuma uses his ability to make the pain transfer out of them, saying, I'm sorry about that. Ginny's actually very nice. The kids say, huh? It's better. The pain just flew away. Was that magic? And then we see now that a lot of the kids rally around Kuma, calling out, Kumachi, Kumachi. Okay, so I get it. Because I think in the legend of the person who Kuma's childhood form is kind of based around was someone who worked his way into ruling a land. So more than likely through Kuma's hard work, he becomes the king of the Sorbet Kingdom. And then we pick up with Kuma and Ginny in their little house, eating down their food. Ginny making more noise than Kuma. And as Ginny finishes, she says, not enough. Kuma hands over his portion saying, as Ginny says, for me? Yummy! And Kuma says, you eat it so much, Ginny. We've got a lot of work to do. Ginny looks out the window saying, when did they turn you into a slave, Kumachi? Kuma says, 4. Ginny says, hey, me too. Kuma tells her it's not something to celebrate. And then Ginny says, I'm so full. I'm so full. And Kuma turns saying, what, Ginny? She begins to cry, calling out for him. And Kuma starts to cry too. He's saying, what? Don't cry, Ginny. And Ginny says, I'm so happy. Oh. That's actually a really sweet note to go out on. I'm actually kind of shocked. I expected tragedy, but we ended out on a really sweet note. So it could only get worse from here. So whatever else happened on God Valley just didn't really involve Kuma that much. Or maybe it did and we're just not seeing it yet. Yeah, I'm not surprised we cut away though. Like, I would have been shocked if we got more, that's the thing. But what we got, there's so much room to elaborate on so much more. Still teased us with what Rocks looks like. I thought we were going to see Rocks in this one. But it seems we're going through the life and times of Kuma, so we're going to find out definitively if Kuma is Bonnie's biological father. But it feels like that's where we're heading. I can't imagine anyone else. And someone pointed out that Bonnie's odd future form makes her look just like Kuma. Just a Bonnie version of Kuma. So I feel like that's where we're leading. But it leaves me wondering, is Ginny ruling over the Sorbet Kingdom? Is Bonnie out on the seas going by an alias? Is she actually Bartholomew Bonnie? And where does the name Bartholomew even come from? Is it Kuma's family name? Because, I mean, Clapp was just called Clapp, not Bartholomew Clapp. Or maybe it's Ginny's name, Bartholomew Ginny. Or maybe they just dubbed those names onto themselves. But Ginny has such a connection to Kuma. And what were the Rocks pirates competing over? Was it who would be the ultimate captain? Who would get a certain devil fruit? And Big Mom clashing with Kuma. I wonder if she remembers Kuma and Ivankov. But yeah, this has had me wondering for the longest time, because Kuma's not at the Sorbet Kingdom, Bonnie's not at the Sorbet Kingdom, and they say that the Queen Dowager Connie, like, is that just aliases Bonnie have come up with? I mean, there must be something there to make it so that Bonnie is still related to the rulers of the Sorbet Kingdom. And someone has to currently be leading the Sorbet Kingdom, so it kind of makes sense that Ginny's still alive and is ruling over her kingdom, maybe at the behest of Kuma. But Bonnie herself wasn't having that and set out to save her dad. But maybe Ginny trusted what Kuma was setting out to do. But it definitely feels like Kuma and Ginny probably became the rulers through just their hard work and potentially a love from the people. Because we've seen it time and time again. The love of a country. I really want to see the next chapter. It's weird that I'm so interested in what happens in the rest of Kuma's life. Because, look, the rock stuff, I know that's coming. But the stuff with Kuma, this is the time to tell it. Just give me the Kuma backstory. Just let me know the Kuma lore. I want to know the Kuma lore. And I want it to be put to rest. Bonnie's actual age, because people still say she's a kid, and I'm sorry, we've seen too many situations of looking at Bonnie's ass and looking at Bonnie topless, and I don't want Bonnie to actually, in truth, be a little girl. I'm sorry, that's problematic. That's the same kind of problematic that I had with Momo. Like, nothing can happen to Momo for the next 10 years, because it's gonna seem creepy. If you don't understand that, I need you to think harder about it. So I need Bonnie to legitimately be in her 20s, or else it's weird. Like, say what you want about Sugar, but she's in her 20s, and I've known people who have the disease that makes you look like you're a child, even when you're in your 30s and stuff. Like, it really throws you off. And I wouldn't really be a disease, just affliction, no. Just a particularity about their body, I guess. And I feel kind of sad for those people because that's a whole can of worms in and of itself. I mean, I would have loved to see the clash between Roger, Garp, Rox, Garling, all that. Because, ooh, talk about a war of the best right there. But there's something about Rox's appearance that they are keeping under wraps. And I'm like, okay, what is it about Rox that you're not willing to show more of to us? What is it? Is it just simply that we're hiding it until then? Just the general thing? I mean, does Rox's appearance have significance? Or is it just Oda being mysterious about everything? Because, I mean, let's face it, being shown what Vegapunk actually looks like is like, But it also gives Oda enough time to make revisions if he wants to. But yeah, I don't mind holding off on God Valley stuff. I wasn't even expecting to get God Valley stuff. So the little bit that we got was already like, you know what, fair enough. But I want to know what happens to Kuma. I'm so ready for more Kuma story. So let me know your thoughts on this chapter in the comment section below. Sorry I rambled on for so long. Mind racing so many different places. I'm like, I want to know the Kuma lore. But what are you more interested in? What revelations are you hoping to see? And I'm so touched by that ending. Two kids who have been used and abused for so long get to live their own lives and just care for each other. And that's beautiful. I hope it lasts for as long as possible. And given the supposed estimated age of Bonnie, it lasts for maybe 24 years? Because Bonnie is 24, apparently, and this happened No, wait, no, 38 years ago. 38 years ago. I'm thinking 48. So 38 years ago. So 14 years ago. 14 years. 14 years until Bonnie should be born. 14 years until Bonnie is born, and 10 years to get to the up to date, I think. Ah, man, I'm probably butchering that time frame. Whatever. You get my gist. At the very least, until Bonnie is born, Ginny should be okay. But again, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the ride. And until next time, I've been Duuz-Diz-Din. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you later. Until then, bye-bye.